I want to first say how physical Missouri was and how well coached they are. Tyler Beatty and their offensive line. I mean, Tyler Beatty is an exceptional running back, very physical, very tough. They had a really good plan defensively, I thought, coming in, and when you have that type of a defensive front, and you have to make big plays, you have to make them pay, and I felt like we did. It took a long time. We were lucky to score there a touchdown in the first half, but our defense, they bent, but they didn't break. I also want to say I'm very happy for Coach Odom. It is his birthday today. Mine's not until Sunday, but I'm very, very happy. And I don't really want to talk about the situation, but I do want to say I'm very, very happy for him and our football team. With that, I'll take questions.
Sam kind of alluded to it, but KJ didn't throw a ton of passes, but he hit like 4 of 40 plus. He had some big runs. Just what did you think of KJ's big plays, and especially in the third quarter when you guys built?
Well, I think again, you're looking at a defensive scheme that is you've got to break it, and if you don't, you're going to get more first half results. And where early in the first half he was sacked on a hot protection. In other words, they're bringing more than we can protect. And then in the third quarter, he hits Burks for a touchdown, a guy coming basically up the A gap. So he has matured. He throws the long ball very, very well. And obviously he's very excited when 16's out there one-on-one. He throws it up to him. He goes, gets it. So I really have been pleased with the progression he had, not only as a football player, but as a team leader. He really has taken a huge role in that, and I'm very proud of him.
Early in the half, he had that little tunnel screen, I guess, to Warren. That kind of seemed to break things up a little bit. Warren had a nice game.
He really did. Yeah, it was those are some things Davion did last year for us, and some reverses and some catching screens and making plays and yardage off of it. But I was really happy for him, especially, he came back super senior to end that way out there with a win and have a good game. But he looked really good tonight, I thought, or today.
Halftime, pretty close game at halftime, and you guys came out and started hitting some big plays and stuff. What was the discussion in the locker room at halftime about, what's happened so far and what needs to happen in the second half? Well,
we knew what they were doing. They had a nice game plan, but at some point you've got to go attack that and not sit there and say we're afraid. In other words, we are a running team. We want to have success running. But if someone is going to take that away from you, you have to say, okay, we're going to burn you deep. I mean, we're going to make you pay. We're going to run screens, things of that nature. I thought Coach Browse and the offensive staff did a nice job of opening up the game plan, because basically what we were doing, we were chasing spots. So backs over here, they're blitzing off the edge over here. You're chasing spots. Well, when you're chasing spots, the ball's going to cut up. When the ball cuts up, we can't block the Willie linebacker. And a lot of times that was what was going on out there. But we just talked about, hey, we get the ball back. I was mad. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed. I didn't think we were playing with a lot of energy. And I let them know. I mean, that's my job. But I don't think the halftime speech is why we played better. I think the coaches made a change and said, hey, let's tee it up, let it fly, see what happens.
What's your thoughts on the play of the linebackers? Bumper had 13 tackles today. Hayden, both those guys had some big hits. Grant's last game here. And Monteric Brown, 5 interceptions on the season.
I mean, well, you threw in a DB in the what's your thoughts on the linebackers? I got you. The linebackers are outstanding, and you know that. I mean, don't they run the ball? and with Bump and Hayden and Grant, and they've been that way all year. Certainly, again, you have to give Missouri credit on their offensive line but they made a lot of tackles for Beatty to have those yards he had. They made a lot of tackles, and then Mo, he just seems to be big play Mo. We need him. He ended up picking one to this afternoon, and then of course LSU, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. Again, he's a senior. I was very happy to see him have success today too.
So, it seemed like Treylin got dinged up there early in the first quarter and then came back and had the game he did. What's that say about him, and what have you thought about his season in general, going over 1,000 yards?
He's a bad man. I asked Dave, I said, "Where's Burks?" He said, "The trailer." I said, "Go get him." We got to get him out of there. Bad stuff happens in there, but he came back, said he felt fine. He can do almost anything. He can catch the ball. He running better routes. He can block. Obviously, he ran the option. Just a really, really talented guy, and just a better kid than he is talent. And I think everybody knows that. But running that option, wasn't that beautiful? He held it long enough, pitched it out there to Rocket. And the great thing about Burks is him doing that was just every bit as important to him as if he would have been the guy that scored the touchdown. He's just a special, special person.
Can you express what it means to have all three of your trophy games and trophies?
I don't know if I can. To be perfectly honest with you, we don't have a guy on our team that had any of them ever. Not one that earned one of them. And to have those three trophies in there, and Larry, that's we didn't earn Larry. We bought him for $20, but to have those three trophies in there is big. I didn't know it. Like I said before, Grant said, I said, "Why you don't make such a big deal out of these trophies?" Of course I do. And Grant said, "Because there's not any of us ever earned one of them." And to have all three of them for the first time in the history of the University of Arkansas, or to beat all three of those teams in the same year, I believe for the first time as well. It's a great tribute to those kids and to my assistant coaches.
Okay, so now you're 4 games over 500, 8-4. There's talk of a Florida Bowl. Just your thoughts about how you finished out the season after that 3-game losing streak.
Well, in the 3-game losing streak, we got beat by Georgia, and everybody else that played them did too. And then we lost to Ole Miss by 1. I get it. Everybody thought the world was coming to an end because we got beat by Georgia, and so was everybody else. They got a good football team. I'm glad they're in our league representing the SEC. But you're 100% right. We came back. We went on a run. Obviously, we fell short at Alabama to do what we had planned on doing. We wanted to make the run through Pine Bluff all the way to now. We fell 7 points short there at Alabama, but it just shows that we got good kids that believe in their coaches, that understand the effort and physicality, and doing the right things can win ball games for you. If you make people beat you, in other words, if you earn what you're going to get and they earn what they're going to get, you got a chance. And our kids believe that, and I'm real proud of them.
I thought KJ went in the injury tent or whatever it is you call that thing. And then he was on the bike a lot. So I think he looked like he was limping a little bit.
Who, Dominique?
No, talk about KJ.
Okay.
So obviously there was something bothering him, but he didn't seem to let it bother him on the field. Well, what'd you think of that?
I think he's tough. I think he didn't want to let his team down if he at all could get back out there and play. And he certainly did, so leaders usually do that kind of stuff. They usually do a little bit more than others.
Did you guys give Barry a game ball or a cake or something or anything?
Actually, I didn't. I had the game ball. I gave it to Grant Morgan and I gave it to Joe Fouché, and I asked them to give it to Barry, and they stood up, talked about what Coach Odom means to him, and gave him certainly did give him a game ball. He deserved it.
Sam, it looked like Bumper kind of gathered him up at the start of the second half out there. Were you close enough to hear any of that?
No, I wasn't, but Bumper's a fiery guy. I'm sure he got them. All three of those linebackers, when they talk, everybody listens. So I'm sure. I don't know what he said. No.
Does he do that often?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bump knows he's a leader for us, and absolutely.
Coach, is Dominique still kind of beat up, I guess? And then also,
Yeah, it looks to me like he's got a leg injury, and we put him back in there, I believe, the first play of the second half, and he got 4, but it was a nasty looking 4, and we said, hey, we got to get him out. One thing about injuries, if you play a guy that's really hurt, there's a chance that he can get hurt because he can't get out of his own way. Right whenever I saw him run there, I said, get him out. I mean, twofold, we would have better to put in, but more importantly, I thought he was too hurt to get out of his own way. He needs to come out so he can avoid further injury.
I noticed Malik Chavis wasn't out there today either. Do you have an update on him?
Just had concussion. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be back by whatever bowl invites us.
You had 29 people out there on senior day. That might be a modern day record.
Guys.
You gonna let them all go?
No,
When do those conversations start?
they already have. No, I mean, look at what happened to us this year, to have those kids come back and help us. And so, no, we don't have as many as we did last year. I think last year we got 9 to come back. This year we don't have that, we don't have as many seniors. But yeah, they're welcome to come back. We want them to come back and help us. And, some of them want to go ahead and go into their NFL career. Some of them want to go into their business career. But I will say this, I think every super senior, I don't know, I don't want to speak for them, but I'll bet you every super senior that came back is proud and pleased that they did. I know it's 8-4, and the world may look at 8-4 as 8-4, but it's not here at Arkansas. It's different. We haven't been relevant for a while, and for us to do that to those kids in that locker room, that's a big, big deal. So I'm proud of them.
Coach, this is kind of a weird question, but it's Keithron Jackson. He made a really nice catch out there today. Is that someone that can maybe increase his role next year a lot? I mean, a lot, not just obviously play.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, he made a nice catch out there. Guys are freshmen, those things. Pooh played a little bit, I believe, today, and so he'll be able to play in the bowl. And then we had dadgummit, 14. Bryce Stevens, who we held so he could play in the bowl game. What we were trying to do is get those guys kind of on the bubble where number 4 would be, so they could actually have those 12, or depending on what bowl we get invited to, how many days that we'll have, but so we could have those 10 to 12 to 13 practices so they can have a spring ball type deal with those young kids, and they'll get more out of it because they know they can play in the game. So we were fortunate to be able to do that with Pooh and Bryce.
Sam, I guess you won't know until next Sunday for sure, until it's announced your bowl. You might know before that, but what's the game plan between now and then to give guys all it, or what's?
Well, they're going to lift voluntary lift, and they'll come in, they'll do it. Not voluntary study table. They have to do that. And then we're going to meet back together on Monday, a week from Monday, after whomever wants to invite us to the bowl. And then we'll probably start, they'll lift a little bit more. That's kind of finals week starting, and we'll probably start practice for our bowl somewhere between the 9th and the 10th, probably of December. Get a couple in or 3 that weekend. Run it into recruiting as well, a recruiting weekend, and then we've got plans for just different people. Whoever chooses us. We got different plans, but we're going to be off for a few days.
I think anybody in their right mind realizes 8 wins against this schedule in particular is pretty big accomplishment. I don't think anybody had you guys winning 8 games for the season. Maybe you did, but not a lot of other people.
You did, didn't you? Come
no.
on. Oh, God dang it.
I got to be honest. I thought 6.
He said, I got to be honest.
I think I told people if you guys won 6, they should probably build a statue for you or something.
Yeah.
But the teams that you guys have lost to, I think right now are like 20 games over 500. So, I mean, you had some big wins, and the people you lost to, you didn't really have like a quote bad loss,
Yeah, thank you.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just really happy that we won tonight, and we beat what we consider our rival, and we're going to have fun with all all those 3 trophies and things of that nature. But winning 8, that means we have kids that bought in and a really good coach, really good assistant coaching staff, and they're all very loyal to me, and they make me look good, and I really appreciate all of them.
It's a different kind of weekend. You get Saturday, you can do whatever. What will the weekend and your birthday be like?
I'm trying to lose weight, and it's the worst whenever them hamburgers start going across the screen and stuff. And so I don't really know. Tomorrow I'm off. We have some family in town and some friends. Actually, Sunday's my birthday, and I'll be celebrating going into people's homes. That's just how it is. But I'll be 60, and it seemed like a whole bunch of years. I don't know, but I feel good, but I guess I should be thanking the good Lord that I made it to 62.
Coach, this may be a tough one. When'd you know you had this kind of team?
Never. I mean, I knew we had a good group of kids, but in the SEC, you got to win some close games to end up having a good season, and as much as people talk about us not making it against Ole Miss, the 2-point conversion, y'all were out here at Mississippi State. It's pretty close too. And y'all were at LSU, you know what I mean? So usually in a season, probably take away here and kind of get back over here and to sit here with 8-4. And, it's not just 8-4, guys. Is you're going to finish in the higher end of the SEC. I mean, it's not only who you're behind, but who you're ahead of, and if you really look at it, the 8-4 are pretty good with our schedule. Now, we don't want to accept it, but I mean, we don't want to get used to, 8-4, depending on what your schedule is, sometimes pretty good, but to have the hardest schedule in football and be 8-4, we really kind of got embarrassed against Georgia. And after that, we were in every game,
Wow, we're going to end on that.
Hey, let me ask you something. I know y'all, but is there some new folks in here or no? No? Yes? Yeah. There seem to be some new people. Kyle? Well, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We appreciate y'all, and thanks for being kind to us.